and welcome to my video book talk presentation on Savvy, a fictional novel by Ingrid Law. Ingrid Law grew up in a small town and has always had an obsession with a good fantasy, which is where she gets the inspiration for most of her books today. The Lexile score for this book is 1010. The narrator and the main character in this book is named Mibs Beaumont, and her 13th birthday is just around the corner. But 13th birthdays in the Beaumont family aren't just ice cream and cake. This is the day that you discover you're savvy. A savvy is a special know-how or a superpower, like being able to control the weather or being able to break glass just by looking at it. But just before Mibs' 13th birthday arrives, she discovers that her father has been in a horrible accident and now lays broken in the Salina Hope Hospital. Mibs is determined to get down to the hospital, but she doesn't know how. She sets out on a remarkable journey with an odd group of friends on a mission to save her father's life. The main characters in this story include Mibs, Bobby, Will, Fish, Lester, and Lil. But what about Mibs? Mibs is definitely a risk taker. She's also an inquirer. But most of all, Mibs is caring. In this story, Mibs proves that she will do anything to help her family. Also, in this story, tattoos play a big role in the development of Mibs' character throughout the story. And if you choose to read this novel, you will find out why. The majority of this story takes place on the road, in the bright pink Heartland Bible Supply Bus. Although this is a traveling adventure, it definitely kept me entertained. This story is like a bowl of ice cream, and Ingrid has added the perfect amount of sprinkles to balance it out. The amount of description that Ingrid has added in this story is just right. I could picture the entire story in my head. An example of this excellent imagery is Lil put the roll of duct tape around her wrist like a silver bracelet. I have to admit, when I first saw the cover of this book, I wasn't so sure. But once I opened it, my nose was glued to the pages, and the action had me on the edge of my seat. The relationships in this story reminded me of my own family and how I love them so very much. I learned a great deal of vocabulary words in this story, two of which being bewildered and caterwaul. Also, I put together a few areas of interaction having to do with this book, two of which being environment and human ingenuity. I recommend this book to anyone with an appetite for adventure. The chapters are relatively short, but there are a lot of them, so you get the perfect serving of warm, gooey fantasy. But if you're hungry for more, Ingrid is serving sequel a la mode with a book titled Scumble. I hope you enjoy this book because I sure know I did. This has been Ava Baker's book talk presentation on The Adventurous Tale of Savvy by Ingrid Law.